Fuck you, Zen! You're supposed to be watching me, not twerk. You're my friend. Only Monica, dude. Only Monica. Yeah, appreciate it, Darren. Right, I'm not sure what platform you don't have rights to moderate on. I'm not sure which one you want to moderate on. It's probably up here in the thread. I can't read. Oh shit, let me get my duvet. It's not supposed to sound sexy. It's just... No, let's not say that actually. Oh, I'll get me in trouble. Thank you, Petro, for your delightful music. On the burp. Yeah, that's how I start a stream now. Just get a burp ready and release it. Oh no, not the media source. No, no, no. There you go. That should be better. Maybe you wouldn't have even heard the burp over the UES Stanton. Right, hello. I'm BoredGamer, and you may remember me from such things as this stream right now. I'm really fucking tired. We streamed Doki Doki over the weekend, and then I streamed in the evening, and then I woke up like a couple of hours later after going to bed, and started researching the Stanton system. And I started to do a video on, show you what I'm doing. Started to do a video on Stanton and what we can expect from a fully fleshed out Stanton system, what we can possibly see coming this year. And so it's like Stanton, mechanics, play zone, and a bit of lore all combined together. And I've thought about, if I do lore videos like properly on the channel, because I actually have them listed as content to do, I'll either do very compact, crunched down lore, which is like, I don't know, like 4 hours of lore in 10 minutes, or I'll do lore as it's relevant in game. So all you need to do to use the lore to use it in game, to have some sort of advantage in game, or the lore that helps you out in game, or whatever. So you arrive just in time for the burp. That is the best. But we will go through questions. Today will be mostly questions, and just chatting, to be honest, because I'm gonna chill out. See the tired face. This isn't put on. This is my tired face. Thank you very much. Thank you for the cheer. Much appreciated. Love your fucking face. So people know that I'm getting a new headset. The actual bits have now like entirely broken off. You see the broken bits? Don't know if you can. I don't know. They're disappearing. Like ghost bits. So the first port of call I've thought actually with my headset endeavours, because I'm too thrifty to spend money, even if it's the stream's money, if possible. I'm looking to get replacement bits for this. Just the replacement bits, but in leather. You can get them for quite cheap, like 30 quid. And this is a really nice headset. And one of the reasons I was like, oh, I don't really want to get another headset, is because I really get on with this headset. I really like it. It's relatively robust for both, for all my needs, but including VR and all the stuff that I do with creation and stuff for videos. So if I can just get it slightly improved and not broken anymore, then go team. Replacing the batteries and stuff as well. It was relatively cheap to do that, so hopefully that will fix it. I'll probably send the bits back if they don't and just buy another one. The issue I have is that any similar headset that I'd want costs like 200 or 300 quid. And that's just so much money for a headset. Just, well, especially when you get earbuds for like £1, can't you? Eh? $3.50, I know. And people might think I'm putting on being as tight as I am when it comes to money, but I'm really not. Zen knows me in real life. I came to LAN once. We go to this iSeries LAN every like 3 times a year, and I literally came with a computer that was duct taped together because I just made it out of bits because I didn't want anything to get stolen. But it was yeah, I'm thrifty. There's nothing wrong with being thrifty. Oh, Zen wants a Genesis. One day, Zen, I'll get you a Genesis, maybe. We'll see if we can recover your Genesis. Yeah, it'll be faux leather. It'll be faux leather. Don't worry, it's PVC faux leather stuff. The fake comfort leather. I'm not going to get proper leather. Mainly because they would be too expensive to get proper leather as well. Save the animals, but also save the money in your wallet. Right. So yeah, tomorrow probably. Assuming I'm alive, we'll have a video on what we can expect from Stanton in 2018, what's supposed to be in the system, what's not supposed to be in the system. So we'll talk about like Levski not supposed to be there, supposed to be a Nix, stuff like that. Because it'd be nice to talk about our play area and all the planets that we already know a bit about, because we saw Hurston, we've seen ArcCorp with procedural cities, we've seen Area 18 in a more closer spawny in look, and then we can talk a little bit maybe about hangars and adding other things that are currently like modular almost into the PU, that sort of stuff. Get thrifty indeed. If you'd like to ask a question about anything, whether it be Star Citizen, about me, about mental health or whatever, then you can ask it by putting question in brackets. It will help me pick it out from the crowd. If I don't answer your question, it's either because I don't want to answer it, because it's my channel, but more likely I have just missed it. So you can wait a few minutes, don't keep on just spamming them, but wait a good few minutes, and then feel free to post them again. And if anyone has any problems with any of the mods or anything, that any of my mods are basically the word of God on my channel, and I'll back them up, even if they've been a dick. I'll deal with them later. And that sort of stuff. Someone asked me how I deal with mods that are unruly or anything. I haven't had any unruly mods. My mods are amazing. I fucking love you guys. Thank you very much. Hey, BG, what kind of mechanics do you think will be included in the science quiz and Star Citizen? So they've actually talked about some of that previously. So science covers a lot of things. It will cover the recovery and a little bit of exploration stuff. So you'll be finding plants and animals and things like that. And it will be to do with data crunching as well. So whether or not we can literally capture animals and get plants and sell them straight away, or if we got to do some form of analysis or some way of tracking them down, don't really know. We know that the Endeavour, for example, is going to have modules for data crunching, for analysis, stuff like that. So the expectation is to be able to grab plants, analyse them, data crunch them, and then sell that data. Also, those modules, they've got like room for extra crew and bunk beds and stuff, so it's expectation that NPCs will have to run lots of jobs and do analysis on stuff, help with the data crunching.
30 quid, he says. Mention aloud and ye shall receive. Smiley face.
Thank you, the JP's eyes. Thank you.
Smiley face.
Thank you for the smiley faces. I love your face. Appreciated. Thank you very much for the donation. I'm always very humbled by the amount of donations I receive, just for, you know, I don't really play games much on the stream. I just chat. So I do appreciate that a lot. There will be a lot more gameplay coming, I promise. Especially, so this weekend, Zen, G and people, assuming that you're free, and some of the chats as well, if you're free, when we are, and you're more than welcome to try and join us. We'll be doing some stuff in Star Citizen as the plan, if everyone's free. And like going through all the missions and doing some general multiplayer content, actually showing off some of the gameplay and just some of the fuckery that we'll be doing. So you're more than welcome to join us. I'll put up some details of that in the Discord, slightly close to the weekend. But yeah, what was I talking about? Oh, science. So yeah, lots of science things. So the Endeavour also is going to have ways of scanning and tracking down anomalies, which is sort of science exploration on the cusp of again, and there's lots of crossover with that. And it's going to be like this big telescopy thing. You're going to be able to potentially manufacture drugs as well. They've talked about drugs labs, but also the Endeavour has the modules to be able to do drugs of some kind and chemically things. We're not entirely sure what that's going to exactly be, but it's probably creation of compounds for selling, some of which will be either worth a lot of money or will be illegal or whatever. What else did the Endeavour have? Let's have a quick look, actually. Let's bring it up on the screen. Oh, I've got the star map open because I was researching Stanton. Let's go to Comlink. Let's bring it up on the screen. Endeavour. How do you Americans spell Endeavour? Something like that. It's probably like that, isn't it? Let's flip this. So it's old. Search. Endeavour? Endeavour. Search. Oh. They've used the word Endeavour a lot, apparently. The Genesis. It's your favourite ship, Zen. There we go. So we've got farming.
So many spaceships.
Thanks for great content. Enjoy watching you. Keep up the great vids and streams.
Thank you very much, Christoph.
Small gift from Sweden.
Thank you very much for your Swedish gifts, Christoph. Very much appreciated. It's a lot of money. Thank you. I'll put it in literally to the walls of my house. So the current donation goal, I don't know if you can see very well. I need to make this, the toilet roll's gone, which is good. That's basically, I've got the most horrible teal cream coloury thing on my wall, but also it's wood chip. So I need to have the wood chip removed. And half the walls need replastering in this place. So you get them all replastered and then painted a colour that is appropriate for an office and to be shown. Thank you very much, Green Monkey Fuzz. Thank you for the sub. And then I'm going to have the room soundproofed so I can talk and actually stream when I want to. Don't have to worry about the neighbours. And hopefully the audio quality will be a bit better for that. So, biodomes. So sort of sciencey-ish. It's basically going to be, that's going to be growing crops of different types that will have a little bit of gameplay to them based on what you want to do with them. You can go to a particular sun and get some crops growing much better. You can research seeds, you can find seeds, that sort of stuff. So the exploration kind of, but potentially you can make seeds. And then you've got the telescopic array, which is how you kind of track down points of interest and like black holes and cool weird anomalies and things. And then you collect data on that and then sell it, or you could just go there, I suppose. The super collider, so this is for overclocking stuff. So this is like the tweaking of gadgets and gizmos and weapons and systems. So you can make your laser cannon 3 or 4% more effective, or your ballistic Peter fire faster, or be a bit cooler when it fires, or something like that. So the tweaking, very important part of, I suppose, the science mechanics. Then there's all these multi-purpose pods. Now with the Endeavour, you can modularly add bits to it. It's got like 3 big main sections in the centre, and you can put whatever modules you want there. There is size kind of restrictions because some modules are bigger than others, but let me just read you what the actual modules do. The Service Equipment Crew Pod, the Service Equipment and Crew Enclosure, or CAS, adds additional cruise facilities to the Endeavour, allowing the Workshop module to function as a standalone installation for longer missions or for the overall ship to support additional crew in general. And then you've got the General Research Pod, which is basically can be used for lots of different types of science. So it talks about all the different equipment it's got there. That might be fuzzily kind of implied that you can use the equipment there. Maybe you actually will be able to use it, but it talks about microscopy. I can't words. Zero gravity experiments, biology studies, and the like. So science is going to cover a lot of things when it comes to researching and then either creating data from that or creating it into something that you can manufacture or push it onto like another project. They've got the general science pods as well, which are the analytical, literally crunching the numbers, creating data from other endeavours. And then there's fuel pods as well. You've got the medical pods, which make it into the Hope. You've got landing bays. But the expectation of science is that it's got a crossover with exploration massively, but there's lots and lots and lots of little areas of science. I suppose it might even have a little bit of a crossover with medical stuff. I'd seen something on the Avenger rework. Do you have more info on that? So, I don't have more info really on that. They are working on the... You don't want to see that. Let's bring that up. It's in G recordings, okay. Recordings. Have a look at the so basically what's happened with the Avenger is they scaled it up for Squadron 42 because they need it for larger things than it currently is for. So they had to scale it up because you're going to be walking in the interior, there's going to be scenes and stuff on it, I expect, and its general uses for more of this slightly larger police craft. So it's mainly the internals that look to have changed, but it has just been scaled up and larger. So we'll have a look as we get a bit closer to Trejo's Avenger. So that will mean that the internals scale up, so the modules will scale up. It's an interesting one as well because they'll have to balance it around that as well. The ship might potentially get more powerful, or it might get weaker because it's larger and easier to hit. As it scales up, it might have room for better components that they'll go, well, let's put them in. So in the demo here, it's been disabled by slavers. You can see the internals, it's much bigger. Like, significantly bigger. There's a bed in there, and there's a lot of space. We know they're working on it. I'm expecting to see it 3.1 or 3.2, so end of March or end of June. I suspect that it looks pretty done there for their needs in Squadron 42, but it needs to be done for the needs of the PU now. So they need to do the internals for the Titan, for the Stalker, for the Warlock. The Warlock will probably take them the longest because it's that EMP drive. Maybe it went. Yeah, we'll probably get an EVA card test for 3.1. Expect that towards the end of February. So for some people that have low RAM, or well, not just low RAM, it can be lots of different reasons. You might have a incredibly long loading screen for Star Citizen, so you literally have to wait while it loads up for the PU at the moment. You can help with that by having Star Citizen on an SSD, having a page file just on an SSD, and no other page files, and having that page file set as system managed. I will also link, if I can find it. This performance guide. In there is fixes and workarounds and troubleshooting as well, so for people that are having big problems, if you go to that guide. But the other guide should help you a reasonable amount getting Star Citizen running as best as it can in 3.0. Don't call the space police, no. So will Star Citizen have blueprints and data chits that you can find and loot to craft better gear and gadgets and things? We don't 100% know how crafting is going to work when it comes to manufacture of weapons or anything. They've talked about base building, they've talked about mining and refining, and they've mentioned that we might be able to craft some things. There's definitely going to be the ability to find like weapons and get weapons that are a bit better. There's definitely going to be the ways of getting a weapon and then tweaking it using the overclocking stuff to make it better, which is going to be a mechanic in itself. We're not sure if we're going to be able to manufacture our own munitions and weapons and stuff. We hope that we're able to. We suspect that we're able to. We're not sure. So, griefing and pirates, although you may think they're linked, they're not really. It's just, well, they're linked in the fact that a griefer will probably have a pirate reputation from killing players, admittedly. But pirates are good. Pirates are a good thing in the verse. They're giving us extra gameplay. What's not good is the exploitation of mechanics, or mechanics that are not suited to keeping pirates out of certain areas of space. The Endeavour in the pipeline at the moment, I don't actually know. Let's have a look-see. According to... So the new ship matrix is actually pretty useful for this sort of stuff. I suspect it's going to get... When we get the new website in the next couple of weeks as well, this might actually get a little bit of an overhaul as well, thinking about it. So it's currently in concept. So I suspect it's at the end of its concept cycle before going properly into white box. I thought actually that it's updated 3 months ago, so I actually think it's probably well into its white box by now. We'll have to wait and see. So Saturn Ball has definitely been canned in the meantime. It will almost certainly come back at some point. I believe the work that Ilphonic did for Star Citizen, and this is one of the major errors that Star Citizen has done in the past, was to the wrong scale. So Star Marine and Satterball, we saw them working everything, but they were not of the correct scale and not of the correct suitability to actually be merged with Star Citizen. Like, they were effectively different games. They went, oh, this isn't what we asked for, and I think that's why that's what happened to Ilphonic. They're like, well, we've effectively not got to bin a load of this work. I suspect they kept all the assets and everything and used some of it, but I believe it was both Star Marine, that's why it took so long to get out, and Satterball, they obviously haven't redone yet. I'm almost certainly going to get it at some point. I'm hoping we get magnet boots, you know what I mean? Junk, 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 junk. something different. I'm really tired. I trimmed my beard. I haven't shaved my head. I'm wrapped in a duvet with a hot water bottle around me. Do you think that adding the ray casting tech to the ship loading ramps would make it easier for easier times getting in and out of the ships from different angles of the terrain? I don't know. I don't really know what's wrong with half the stuff. Admiral Redshift, thank you very much for the buttload of cheer. Woo! Woo, woo, woo! Thank you very much. I don't know. Obviously, they need to tweak that a lot. There's a lot to be said for object container streaming when it comes in. I know it doesn't directly relate to that at all. But they can't get some of the precision, I think, in some of the areas they want, because there is so much going on. So object container streaming might allow them to have more precision for data like that. I don't know. I'll add it to my list of questions to ask and break it down slightly more. Are we going to be able to buy ships in-game in 3.1? That is, I believe, still the plan. Do you know anything about the 300 series rework? I know that they're working on it. I know that they're a good way through it. I know that it's allegedly going to be pretty cool. I just don't know when it's coming out. Probably for 3.1. Yeah, I'd say probably for 3.1, if not for 3.2. Will this due to hotfixes and small patches leading up to the March content patch? Yes. Hotfixes and smaller patches are not precluded because of the quarterly release schedule. So we'll have hotfixes as and when they come. When we were able to purchase ships like the Sabre holiday sale was a disappointment for me. Probably towards the end of March, we'll probably have another sale with some ships in it. And they do sales like at Valentine's Day and stuff as well, but very limited amounts of ships. You are going to be able to get all these ships in game, so remember that. Thank you very much for all the kind words. Can the tank be used as an LTI token? Yes, but only for other ground vehicles, I believe. That's the sort of thing I will try and poke CIG about, though. I do think you should be able to upgrade into vehicles and out of vehicles. Like, it's an item that I purchased. There's no reason to lock vehicles behind a separate thing from chips. Do config files work with 3.0? Yes, they do. There's very limited you can do in them at the moment. They're much more just for like setting stuff up for comfort. So like I have my FPS and stuff like that, so that it automatically shows, and that's what I use my config file for now. These .configs, not too much you can do with them in 3.0. There are some bits and bobs. It's just a lot of the stuff you can even do with them. They're not advised. That can cause lots of crashes and issues. So, with the Orion becoming so big, will it still fly in the traditional sense? Or would it fly more in a click-on-destination way? Oh, I see what you mean. You should be able to fly it. It will just be quite difficult to fly. It is a big thing that you're not going to be able to precisely fly. Yes, I see what you mean. Have you had any new updates on the server pooling meshing and what setbacks they're currently experiencing? No, we actually talked about this yesterday. I think it's very important about server meshing. They need to start working on it in earnest this year. So server meshing is literally the way they want everyone to be on the same server, on the same shard, and they have lots and lots of servers that can spin up based on how many players are in an area, and they use object container streaming to break down these areas into more and more areas, and you can have object containers in object containers. So you have an Idris, which could be one or more object containers, and the idea is that it just has the data that are required and updates based on ranges, and knows what it has to stream into memory. Object containers streaming is incredibly important to Star Citizen. It is a core of what makes the massive spaceship battles work at the level of quality that they're at, anyway. But we don't really know much about server meshing other than that's what they plan to do. If they are unable to do that for some reason, they will look at another method of doing something similar or what they want. The worst that we'd probably have would be having hundreds or thousands of people in the same area, but some people wouldn't be able to see each other unless they're relevant to each other. There'd be like servers on top of servers, and then you'd see people that are relevant to you, or more likely to see people that are relevant to you. And that would affect it like the God AI, whatever you did on any of the servers, whatever, would affect all the servers at large. But that would be like a kind of worst case. And it'd still be really enjoyable and everything, but it obviously server meshing would be the best, because then everyone's on there and you don't have to think about it. How likely do you think it would be for them to add new mission categories between now and 3.1? Very likely. There are missions that they've had to take away, there are missions that didn't quite make it, and there are missions that they definitely wanted to put in 3.0 that they couldn't. So almost certainly going to have a few new missions, as well as more mission variants on what we already have. Do you like avocados? I'm okay with guacamole. Would you be kind enough to suggest a PC spec which is reasonably Star Citizen proof? My old i5 just can't cut it. Meg, if you want to go into the Discord, into my Discord, and there is a thread that is for PC specs and stuff, drop in a little message there. I literally will be going through all those messages today and replying to a load of them, and dropping some documents and some signposting and stuff in there as well. I will be doing a video on 3.0 and hardware specs and things. It's really hard to do at the moment because it's not optimized properly. There's a couple of hotfixes that I think they need to deploy before I can do a video like that and give it any real credence. But we'll give it any real flesh to its bones other than Star Citizen's really optimized. Get the best computer you can, but don't spend money if you're just going to play Star Citizen on it, because it's not that stage of the game yet. But yeah, we'll hotfixes hopefully within the next couple of weeks, and then we'll do a video on that properly. How does the buyback pledge work? How do buyback pledge work? How do buyback pledge? So, So with your buying back of pledges, if you literally go to your hangar on the RSI website, you can go buy back pledges. Every 3 months, you get a refreshed buyback with store credit token, so you can buy back anything that was not a promotional item, or that's somehow super special at any point that you've melted, by going in here. And once every 3 months, you can buy one item back using using store credit. Everything else you'd have to buy back with monies. You can buy back at any time, but as I said, every 3 months you can buy back a single item with store credit. You literally just click on buyback. It's as simple as that. Simple as that. Do you think there will be jump gates, or jump points, in fact, to get far away star systems where you'll not have enough fuel? Yeah, there is. There's literally jump points. Are you talking about jump points that lead you significantly further? So, as far as I'm aware, technically, jump points wouldn't need to be linked to the next proximate system. They could be linked to a system that's miles away, so that could happen. I upgraded my Freelancer to a Freelancer Max, and I got the Error View Hangar with it. But since 3.0 came out, I can't use my Error View Hangar anymore, and I can't watch my Freelancer Max. It's probably something they need to fix in a hotfix patch. And a couple other people said they couldn't get into their hangars as well. I came across the star map and was surprised at how big the universe is. How many of those systems do you think realistically will be done before the game goes release gold? 30 to 40, pushing 50 if they're really lucky, but 30 to 40 for a live release. For beta, expect 5 to 10. A good way to see the foundations of multiplayer, take a look at Amazon GameLift. It has dynamic auto-scaling and such built in it. Already available, yeah. So, CIG have this massive backbone of infrastructure now with Amazon Web Services. so they can scale up for whatever they need, wherever they need it. So they can have servers all over the world, and they can have as much server power as they need. Amazon Web Service is equal win. Don't know how much it costs them, but I'm assuming pretty good price. If enough people band together with big Campbell ships and decked out bomber ships, would they be able to obliterate cities? No, so they are anti-city destruction when it comes to like ArcCorp and that sort of stuff, with the major city planets. It's been suggested that you'll be able to destroy player outposts and bases, and you potentially might be able to destroy some of the smaller settlements on planets. But I suspect that anything that has been placed by an artist is probably unlikely to be destructible when it comes to like cities and hero locations. Potentially, you could have situations where there are big story arcs and big story events or player-led events.
So many spaceships.
Thanks to be honest and help us from Viruses.
But thank you, Pereira Gonzala. Pierre, you're a fucking legend. That's so much money. It's more money. Oh my god, thank you so much. I'm so tired. Thank you. It's very much appreciated. Oh my god. I've realised that now I'm probably going to have my office done sooner than I wanted to. Or I say sooner than I wanted to. So my form of like anxiety and depression and stuff is that I procrastinate quite a lot. I go, I'll put that off till then. So I don't have to deal with it and think about it. So I have more control over a situation because I've made a conscious decision to not do that now. I need to get a quote for the room properly. Actually get it like booked in, I think, at some point soon. I had some quotes and they were around that price. Around that price, what the fuck is it here? $1,600 ish. I think it was like £1,400. Oh, it'll be really nice actually. Thank you very much appreciated. I can't remember what I was talking about. I'm so sorry. It's gone a bit off piste. Nope, can't remember what I was talking about. Any news on mechanics or anything that matter for jump point navigation? No, don't know anything about jump point navigation. It's something they can have a cool effect for if you're moving around multiple systems in Squadron 42, but they don't need to have the mechanics in the same way that they would have in the PU. So we don't know too much. Yes, I will be checking out that tablet control work in progress thing. That was really cool. I was looking at the other day. Yes, there are server patches they can do without client patches as well. Some stuff they can change server side. I have used both head tracking and voice stack in 3.0. Nothing that I'd use properly at the moment, just because it's a bit buggy and stuff gets changed and controls get changed all the time. So I try to make my setup as simple as possible. Mouse and keyboard while testing. How do you sell cargo you pick up from crashed ships? You're supposed to be able to sell it through the commodity kiosks. But obviously you can't do that properly at the moment in a lot of the time. Yeah, I'm pretty lazy. Oh my god, I know. Yeah, that's so generous. Thank you. Feel free to message me if there's anything I can do for you. If you want to shout out for your org or anything, please do. Do you think they will make concept sale for the spider miners? Oh, number one, I'm not sure of their size, but number two, probably. So this year I'm expecting to see all of the Drake ships that they mentioned. They might not necessarily be Drake anymore, but we'll see the Drake Vulture, the little salvage ship they talked about, and the rest of the other ones that they talked about and people voted on, but they didn't get picked for the Drake ship to be made next. But we'll probably see a civilian carrier. We'll see possibly different variants of Constellation or competitors to a Constellation. A star lifter, so a ship that bridges space to ground by taking ground vehicles to ground. Stuff like that. And those spider miners. Potentially a civilian version of the Lightning as well. I know, it's mad support, thank you. Where do you find the updates for the shapes and releases? So the production schedule. Although this production schedule was in a... This production schedule was in a newsletter. So updated 5th of January, and it just talks about, very briefly, this is our rough sort of semi-plans for 2018 when it comes to 3.1, 3.2, 3.3 and 3.4, their quarterly release schedule. So we're going to have patches in between the quarterly release schedule, but they'll just be hot fixes and balances and stuff like that. But 3.1 is going to be about polishing the game systems, adding more to the game systems that we already have, getting the economy working properly, improving the AI and space combat, making sure that all of that like combat and stuff is done properly. Expect to see a lot more flesh on the bones of the mechanics that we already have, so like more missions, and then obviously more ships, more items, and probably persistence working in a very good way. So logging in and logging out, where we logged out, you both log back in straight away. If you crash while you're carrying cargo, you haven't lost your ship, you'll spawn back in your ship. Things like that. That's what I'm expecting for them to try and do for 3.1. End of June, which will be 3.2, that's when they start to get lots of these game mechanics in. So they're getting their early mining, salvage, refueling, and repair. That's their plans. Obviously, this stuff might get pushed back, or it might get pushed forward. Most certainly pushed back rather than forward, but also creating player missions is going to be in there as well. And then they're going to be doing a lot of the stuff for the ground AI and that sort of stuff. So FPS AI for 3.2. 3.3, now, all these patches are going to have ships and stuff in them as well. But that's when they plan to get object container streaming in. So let September, object container streaming working as intended. I think the idea there. That allows them to put in planets significantly more easily, so they'll be fleshing out the Stanton system starting with 3.3. We might have had some moons, we might have had a planet before 3.3, but it's likely that a lot of the Stanton system will come with 3.3. So expect maybe things like Hurston and ArcCorp, possibly Cloud City on Crusader. Then they also talk about having the mechanics for land claims and surveying and stuff like that there as well, and then lots of polish, obviously more ships and more flesh on all of the mechanics. And then the final build of the year will be 3.4 with December, and then that's when it sounds like they want the Stanton system to be finished by there, and then have lots more careers online, lots more mission work. So expect a lot for that last patch 3.4. Anything that was missed out or pushed back should be coming in 3.4, and throughout the year we should be getting lots and lots of ships. So ships like the not the Crucible, the Carrack, the 890 Jump, the Reclaimer, big ships should be coming out this year. Lots of them. Potentially we could have the Idris and Javelin as well, if object container streaming works and allows combat with those capital ships thereafter. So it's a big year, it's an exciting year, and lots of the smaller ships will be done. Like expect a good portion of the ships to be done by the end of 2018, and then probably 2019 for like the Banner Merchantman and some of those other ships that were concepted last year. Not all of them will be done this year. Yeah, they can make big progress now. 3.0 genuinely laid the foundations for the game and allows them to build on top of that pretty easily, or at least significantly easier than in the past, and a lot faster. No, so I'm very good in the fact that anxiety makes me more productive, and when I'm depressed, I'll use my brain in any way that it wants to be used. So I'll find something that I can do. So it's just like a mood, and I go, what's the most efficient thing I can do in this mood? Sometimes it's lie in bed and feel sorry for myself. You're a fat single YouTuber that covers a game that's not out. That's just crying to myself. And sometimes I'm like, you're a fat single YouTuber, but you're at the top of your game. Oh, shit. With server meshing and the size of the player base, do you think the starting areas may be in danger of putting players in areas... So, There's going to be quite a lot of starting areas, I think the idea is. You're going to be able to start in lots of different systems. I think that's the plan. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem having lots of players in starting areas. Why don't you ever really live stream any of your gameplay? I do. I've just started to. And we should... and this weekend as well. So this weekend, videos and live streaming on 3.0. Hopefully me and Zen and G and people. And that's what I've got planned for it. Sorry, Zen, to tell you now. I did sort of say we were going to do it next weekend. It's hard to organise for me. I'm very much a... I'm going to do this now. Or I'm going to do this now. And I do that in a relatively solo manner. Like, I want to do it when I want to do it. So it's not... That's kind of the way I work. So planning stuff for other people around that is hard because they have other jobs and other commitments. That's why I don't have a proper stream schedule. Although, the reason I'm screaming erratically over the last few days is because I'm trying to work out when is the best time to stream. I don't want to just go, haha, I'm only streaming in this time zone and no one else can ever see me. That's not in this time zone. I want to have different days of the week that are all dispersed for best possible coverage of an audience. So what about streaming when anyone can watch me? But you know what I mean? Confused about the recent announcement about 3.1 being focused on polish and performance. Should we still expect hotfixes in the interim between quarterly updates? Yes. Expect 3.1 to be more about getting everything not just working properly, so not bug fixes, but functionality to everything. So more flesh on the bones of a lot of things. More getting rid of like fiddliness for stuff. So all the systems that kind of partly work, or like persistence and stuff, getting that working in every instance. The star map, making the star map actually fun and enjoyable and easy to use, and lots of the other mechanics getting balanced, and the right amount of quantum disruption, lots of different types of mission or variants of missions, lots of different variants of being quantum disrupted, things like that. So more content, and more like reasons to do different things on the economy, more things to buy and that sort of stuff, better AI to actually fight, and better missions and economy-based things that all kind of play together in a mission, rather than just bug fixes. Hey Bored, can you recommend a decent HOTAS for Star Citizen? Mine has recently died. I really like, because of its cheapness, the Thrustmaster 16000M FCS. I think it's a really great HOTAS. And probably the best around for its price. Quantum travel will not be controlled by the player on the future, like travel for... we don't 100% know how they want beacons and stuff to work and quantum travel in the future to work, but it will probably be that you need a beacon, a waypoint that you'd get from a mission or a contract, or that sort of stuff to be able to travel to a point. You won't be able to just go, I want to quantum travel to these coordinates, unless there's a beacon there. NPC tracks players when they walk by. Yeah, the idea is that they want the AI subsumption stuff so that players will look at you if it's within their character to do that. If it makes sense for their characters as you pass them to look at you for some reason, then they will. They might say a wild line to you, they might go, whoa, back off, buddy, or whatever. They're going to be relatively smart. I have a Tobii eye tracker built into my monitor. Is there a guide you'd like to recommend getting working eye tracking? No, because I talked to Tobii eye tracker people a while ago, and they said there's no native way of getting it working with Star Citizen. You can bodge it to work, but I don't think it would be for the best experience. I could look at something. I don't have a Tobii eye tracker, so I need to get one and then bodge it to work. I don't know when we're expecting face over IP and voice over IP. However, we will probably find that out very soon, within the next couple of weeks, as Faceware is supposed to be selling pre-orders for their camera, for their face over IP camera. Although face over IP and voice over IP will work with pretty much every webcam and microphone. Not all of them, but pretty much all of them. So we'll probably find out more about it then. Exactly when voice over IP or face over IP is coming. So interdiction I will call I think the better name for the interdiction that they're talking about is quantum disruption. After building your base, where do you safely garage your Pioneer? So you'd take it to you'd probably dock it to a station in safe space. So you'd go to Terra or whatever, and you dock it at a space station there. You could, however, have your Pioneer on the ground as a ground installation. It's got turrets and stuff, and part of its lore and part of its purpose is to be able to defend outposts as they're being built. No reason you can't park it there. It's going to be a bit more vulnerable, obviously. Something should be done with quantum travel. It feels pretty clunky at the time. Yeah, it needs... Something should be done with the flight models. Something should be done with the FCS and ESP. None of that's working properly at the moment, and they need to get that. They need to get that down really tight. Oh yeah, motorbike went past my house. Oh. I don't have any Thrustmaster settings. I haven't set up my HOTAS for a little while, to be honest. I can probably find you... I've got a list of other people that have done profiles, so I can probably find you something that's reasonable for 3.0. Got a list of stuff that when the new Redactor website goes on, I was going to do a quick article on. These are some people that have done really cool things for HOTAS. Hi, Board, do you think we'll get any exploration mechanics in 2018? Yes. So, it's going to be something that they want to, especially with planets coming out and stuff, they're going to want to push. Now, exploration's not going to be... exploration's different for everyone when they try to envision it. So, there'll be exploration-y type missions, there'll be loot, and little Easter eggs and things to find. There might be science-esque missions, there might be exploration-esque missions, where you have to find plants and things.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Hogadad Pride. Hodag Pride. Hodajib Pride. Thank you very much for the sub, however you say your name. I can't words. I never have been able to. OBG, any guesses on what the in-game prices of ships are going to be? They are going to be balanced by the economy, so it's kind of irrelevant because they will keep on changing. I don't know what they're going to be to start with.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Cyclo, oh thank you.
BoredGamer.
Cyclo has seen me dance my six moves. When I dance, I only have 6 moves, which I repeat. He's seen my deadly shape and 6 moves. Oh my god. On Squadron 42, recent gameplay, we see huge prisoner with muscles. Will we be able to play as that character? No, you will not. We will all have, the women and the men, separately, will have their own body sizes. And just one size to start with. After release of the full game, might be able to change body size. But it's not something they're currently looking at. Why does YouTube hide my questions? And will I be able to run Star Citizen on 8 GB of pleb RAM? So 3.0 is going to hate you for running it on 8 GB of pleb RAM. In the future, Star Citizen might be optimized enough to run it, but object container streaming and the meltdown bug and stuff with kernels and just stuff being less optimized for the more calls, you're going to want at least 16 gigs, man. Really. I haven't tried playing 3.0 offline ever. Unfortunately, I've always had relatively good frame rates, as in the hacky offline, and I don't know if you can actually play it offline anymore. It's technically against terms of service, although I suspect they're not going to give a fuck, really, if you do. They could, if they wanted to. Hey Board, when your insurance runs out and someone destroys your ship or you crash it, will you lose your ship permanently, or will you have to pay a fine to get your ship back with in-game money? Esby talked about this, or Esme talked about this. Let's actually bring this up. Good man. So here is what I'm looking at. Esme was asked a question. Esme, if something you own is destroyed, say a constellation that only had 3-month insurance, and it's run out before it was destroyed, you will need to pay more to have it replaced in game, but it won't be permanently removed from your account. Now, I'm assuming, but probably quite accurately, this is talking directly about UEC for when the game's released. So you're not going to have to pay more real money. It's going to be UEC in game. For items like weapons, shields, etc., we're working on how insurance will cover all of these that aren't included with the base ship, but it won't be a case of them being gone for good. I'm assuming, again, that's talking about weapons that you've bought with UEC in the UEC shop. It potentially could be anything that you buy in-game has some sort of rough base level of insurance, which allows you to retrieve it like at 70% of its original value, even if you didn't have insurance. Which is good, because at least it makes you feel a bit safer, even if it's still a huge portion of the actual value of the ship. Yeah? Makes me feel like lifetime insurance isn't that much of a bonus, which is good. What are your sources for insider knowledge? Or is it just you're assuming some parts? I assume some parts. I kind of talk about when I assume some parts. A lot of stuff is readily available on various sites and things. If you read enough of the news, if you read enough of the Reddit, if you read enough of the interviews and stuff, you'll have a good knowledge. And like some of it comes from like jump points, some of it comes from office tours, some of it comes from bar citizens and stuff talking to devs. I try to never directly say this is going to happen when it hasn't been announced or anything. I try not to break any form of NDA with them, but most of the information, if not all of the information, is readily available. There's just a lot of it constantly. A lot of the stuff as well that I will assume is based on their older documents of things. So unless they've updated something, I will always assume that it is of the last information they've given us. Seeing how voice over IP will work, or face over IP in fact, if you use a headset with a microphone in front of your mouth, wouldn't it obscure it? Yeah, so that's definitely a potential thing. When you set up, you'd be setting up the software for your best possible experience. So you might be able to get a way around it or angle it differently, but you might have to move your mic slightly away from your mouth or position your camera slightly differently. It's a good thing. Facial hair has an effect on it, and that sort of thing as well. And they want to get it working with VR headsets. I think, oddly, that Faceware are doing something with VR. But I don't know that for certain. When do you expect weather conditions such as thunderstorms and snowstorms to be put in game fully? That's a good question as well. So my radar have that app for Star Citizen, which kind of calculates and generates weather systems on the moons. I would like to see that in the game sooner rather than later, because I was hoping that we'd have some simple weather for 3.0. And we do have cool like effects and haze and fog and things like that, but we don't have like weather. I don't know when that's coming. I think it's something quite easy to put in because I suspect it's part on lots of other systems, but I say easy to put in. I suspect they've done a lot of the work to it already. It's easy for them to put in, but I don't know. We'll know more when the new schedule report comes out on the new website, so within the next couple of weeks probably. Hello, Bored, regarding cargo. How can I do cargo missions with an Aurora or Mustang? You can only store in the cargo container boxes of a Mustang and Aurora commodities. So you literally have commodities from kiosks. You cannot pick up a box and put it in the little smaller boxes. So you can't. Basically, there is a cargo container that is an item, effectively, on your Auroras and on your Mustangs, which says, this container can carry 2 SCU of cargo. So you can't put a box from your hands into that. You can try and pick it up and put it into your ship if you have an Aurora, although I wouldn't recommend it. So you effectively can't do cargo missions where you need to pick up boxes in an Aurora or a Mustang. We might see some medical gameplay. It wasn't mentioned in that rough schedule report. I do expect that it is part of the expanded FPS gameplay, though. So I do think we may get some of it in 2018. I am hoping that they copy a lot of Eve's mechanics in some areas. Like, Eve does some of the economy, I want it copied, not all of it, some of it. Star Citizen's economy is going to be much more managed by them as well. They can edit it and change it and make sure that exploits don't happen with it and stuff like that. Whereas Eve, they just go wild, guys! Which makes a very, very interesting, fun economy. No, I'm not asking those weird-ass questions. You can't put cargo boxes. You can't put cargo boxes properly in the Aurora, can you? I did a combat mission the other day in my soup on it, and it took greater than 20 minutes to take down each Aurora. Is it me doing something wrong? So they've tweaked shields and ship health, energy weapons against like Vandal and some of the other ships. They do a tiny amount of damage compared to what they wanted to. Use ballistics. But yes, they need to adjust that severely. Are there plans to add another traverse speed that's faster in the straight line than Super Cruise, but outside of the quantum travel? I don't think so. They might scale up the speed of Super Cruise, I suppose, maybe? Why are you having issues? Some of the travel times are sort of semi-intended. It's just, at the moment, we don't have that much we can do during travel times. In the future, you're going to be able to get up off your seat and actually do stuff around your ship, or use Mobiglass apps, and there'll be interesting things, and part of the gameplay will be, I can do this while I'm waiting to get here. Do you think we'll be able to... Do you think we will be able to salvage ship weapons and systems like the small boxes we can already, and if so, when? So, salvaging is going to be in 2 stages. You're going to be able to salvage actual fully working components and weapons, and you're going to be able to nom up other more salvagey wrecked pieces separately, broken components and bits of ship, and they're going to be separate things, but both part of the salvage profession. I suspect we'll get some of that with 2.2 coming in June. They can steal a better ship and do cargo missions. That's true. That is probably... No, you can't steal another ship and do cargo missions. And you could do the cargo missions, as long as you're not delivering anything. So, I know you could deliver it still. You'd have to jump out of your ship. It'd be hard to do. So the issue with stealing someone else's ship is if you've got a criminal record, criminal rating, you might not be able to get to Olisar or wherever you need to get to and deliver the package. But you wouldn't need to land your ship, so it wouldn't be an issue. Ugh. How long do you think it will be before we see the persistent system stabilised, fully fleshed out? I think that's what they plan for 3.1, and I think it's so important. Like we need persistent reputation, and we need persistent mission data, so that we know what missions we've done, what missions we've tracked. We need the ability to log back in where we've logged off. If we crash, we can log straight back into the ship that has all our cargo in without having to claim the ship again and losing 300,000 fucking UECs worth of cargo. No, I think persistence is probably more important in the short term than getting more players on the server. I think we might see strip clubs implied. I'm not sure if we would see actually any strip clubs in game. I think black boxes are going to be more for mission components and looting systems rather than actually any form of a box that actually records any real data. I think we could see our hangars in 3.3 maybe. So probably see them in 2018 integrated in game, so we won't spawn them separately. Maybe more like 3.4 with hangars. I can imagine them being integrated in some planets by then. I've only watched the first and second seasons of Black Mirror. I will watch Black Mirror at some point probably, but I've heard it's depressing. Well, I heard it's spreading. I know it's depressing, a lot of them. Parodies, dark parodies of society. Do you think in the full release we will be given the option to declare exterminus? No, there's not going to be destroying of entire planets or anything. I find getting from an outer market to a planet takes a little longer than I would like. I understand the need for landing and navigation gameplay, but it seems drawn out. I think a lot of that seems drawn out because we don't have much else to do in the meantime. Like we don't have the distraction mechanics or the planning mechanics or stuff that we can do more efficiently. Everything's very, very early at the moment. Will they make the smaller tank? Will they make a smaller tank? Almost certainly. And yes, it's something that will probably fit in lots of smaller areas that is more urban killing. That was a joke question. Yeah, there should be bars on all of the ships, and you should be able to drink. I think drinking is just going to have negative effects, though. Do you think the Banner Merchantman is on track for still being available in 2018? I think it's more of a 2019 ship. But you potentially could have it in 2018. What system will be used to allow a ship thief to keep a stolen ship? So at the moment, the issue is that persistence doesn't work properly, so it doesn't transfer the ownership of that ship to your account. It's not legal ownership; it's just physical ownership. And if you landed at Port Olisar or something, the ATC would take it away from you. It'd go, this ship doesn't belong to you anyway. It's illegal for you to have this ship; it's someone else's. So they need to have a place where we can take ships, and they need to have persistence, and then we can keep those ships if you steal them. That should be done for 3.1, so that it's working. Thank you for all the kind words. I do appreciate that. CIG mentioned that the Nova is the largest tank. Indeed. So, well, there might not be smaller ones, but it's the largest tank they'll ever make. So, potentially there will be smaller tanks. I suspect there will be smaller tanks, almost certainly. Any other questions? It was nice to see CIG's response to the Crytek case, which was, this is all bullshit. And then CIG gave the game license agreement, which does seem to support their statement of this is Crytek arguing over the word exclusive, when that word exclusive is meant to protect CIG and not limit CIG. The idea that CIG would pay 1.85 million for a license and then have to be forced to use a game engine for a game is a little ludicrous when you actually think about it. They paid all the money for the license, they didn't want to use it anymore, they obviously developed the first part of Star Citizen with it, but then moved on to the Lumberyard engine in its entirety now. So, Crytek have got all of their money. They weren't supposed to be getting any royalties, I don't believe, or anything like that. They have missed out on advertising for now onwards, because Star Citizen moved on to Lumberyard, but they got a load of advertising. They got more advertising than they thought, because they thought Star Citizen was going to come out in 2014 or something like that originally. But yeah, Star Citizen paid for that engine in its entirety, and that game license agreement just supported pretty much everything they said, which is good. And you can see a video up on that on my channel, but also Leonard French's channel, who does a very good job of breaking it all down. So, it's potentially, there might be pieces of the claim that the judge doesn't dismiss. It potentially It potentially might not dismiss any of it, but it's likely that it'll dismiss all of it or some of it. And then the parts that he doesn't, we should see what's going on with it, and then it will go dark for many months. But I will keep on it. We'll find out anything that we can from it, but it looks like it's probably done. Squadron 42 Episode 2 and Episode 3 are supposed to be 2 years apart from the release of Episode 1. So if they release Episode 1 at the end of 2018, expect the Episode 2 at the end of 2020, and then Episode 3 at the end of 2022. Can I pick up loose cargo for my Titan Avenger and sell it? You're supposed to be able to, but you can't really at the moment. It doesn't work properly. Yeah, it doesn't show up on the terminals. I don't know why Crytek did that. They CIG in their retort complaint say it looked like it was about loud publicity rather than any form of tangible law. Any other questions? Anything people want to ask or talk about? Can we talk about the Reclaimer and your thoughts on it? It's currently my favourite ship. I currently have one and cannot wait to fly around the verse, but it doesn't look like a combat ship. It's got a reasonable amount of defence. The issue it has is it's very large, so even though it's got a reasonable amount of defence, it can't bring that to bear on ships. So you'll be able to get away a lot of the time. You'll be able to go, well, there's pirates coming in, see you later. But you want to plan your salvage, you want to plan your trips. You want to, if pirates do find you and surround you, whatever, you want to pay them off. Things like that. And you probably can have drones as well that are there for defence, not just for salvage. Escorts are obviously going to be important. We won't really know how it performs until it's in game, and then it's balanced. Its intention that it's pretty robust. It's going to be able to. It's a salvage ship. They're going to be able to take a pounding. It's going to be able to get away from pirates all the time. Yeah, I'm loving 3.0. Not a huge amount of gameplay loops that are working at the moment, though. So there's missions, and there's a little bit of exploration, and there's cargo runs, and then there's the gameplay that we make, and emergent gameplay that might happen. But I need a bit more. I need to be able to buy ships. I need slight more variance in the missions. I need all those missions to be working. I need persistence. Persistence, my reputation is what I really need. No, that spaceball bug and the unable to leave Port Olisar and stuff bug, and not being able to play, they need to hotfix ASAP. So potentially we could see a patch this week for it. Is your freelancer in a different location? You should be able to load cargo onto a freelancer. Some of the larger ships are having FPS bugs. A massive drop like that, though, that's pretty big. Yeah, so people that are having these major issues, I will link you a load of guides here. One of them, the fixes, workarounds, and troubleshooting guide, in that top section. That will sort out a load of problems that you are having. The other ones are there for performance and should help you. Should give you a bit of advice if you're looking to boost frames per second and that sort of stuff. Have you experienced the headlight bug? Yes, I have. Expecting it for a hotfix. Some of these bugs that people are mentioning are common bugs that need to be hotfixed out. Like the fact that some ships spawn without doors or the ability to be flight ready, and you have to reclaim the ship, and then it might work when you get it back, but it might not. So those kind of bugs, headlight bug and all that sort of jazz, they all need to be hotfixed ASAP. And some performance patches as well, so there's a reasonable amount they can probably do with performance as well, but they haven't yet. I'm not entirely sure how all the scanners are going to work. Like the scanner on the prospector's role is to survey and find minerals and scan asteroids and stuff. So might not be good at all types of scanning, but it will certainly be good at generalized scanning of asteroids and minerals and surveying. Can you talk about the concept vote on the solo scavenger ship? I think they meant you can refine scrap based on the brief, and that isn't mentioned. So from what I understood, that it was a ship focused on hand salvage that you could bring back to the ship and then use hand tools to do stuff with. If you can refine it further there, that's cool. I will do some research into it. Just to say, thanks for all the vids, answering my questions and being generally a great guy. Thank you very much, Ryan. I get to... We'll see in a moment, I'm fucking shattered. But typically I get to sit down in my pants and make videos or talk about computer games all day and play games with my mates and go, I'm going to do a video on this subject today, or I'm going to do something on the Saturn system today, or whatever. So thank you for allowing me to do that as a living. That is appreciated. Thank you so much. And thank you very much for the donation. What benefits does a Freelancer Max have over a Constellation Taurus, since they both cost almost the same? Taurus is bigger. It's a stripped down version of Constellation. I would prefer the Taurus to the Freelancer Max. Freelancer Max is probably going to be more efficient. Yeah. So yeah, Garen, thanks very much for helping. No, Stormfire, don't worry. It's good to see you, man. Stormfire is a very good friend, and I love his face. Thanks, Stormfire. You're a legend. Yeah, persistence is one of my main issues as well now. Yeah, well, it is persistence is my main issue. It's stuff not sticking and like not having persistent reputations for missions and that sort of stuff. It's really annoying. I see no reason why a salvage ship cannot salvage a part of itself that's been blown off. So, I mean, there's multiple ways they can stop ourselves from flying capital ships into cities. Make it very, very expensive to destroy your capital ships. Make the city's defences so that they have big defences. Make it so that if you fly too close to a city, they literally start shooting you. So your capital ship's almost certainly going to be destroyed before it gets anywhere near a city. Maybe the defences are strong enough that people will still try and do it and fail, and that I'll be able to see burning rubble fall nearby the city. I thought bumping was literally in terms of animation bumping. So literally characters bumping into each other and trying to avoid each other. So you'd go, oh no, I'm going to go this way. But you could push past each other and hit each other. Literally thought it was literal animation bumps. I did get that super chat. Thank you very much, Ryan. I love your face. Oh, thank you very much for the host. A little bit of madness. I love your fucking face as well. You coming to BritisonCon? Who's going? Anyone that's going to I-62, so Insomnia Festival 62, or BritisonCon, please, if you want to meet up, jump to the Discord at some point, or message me on Discord and say, I'm going, woo, let's meet up. We'll meet up and have a drink or whatever. So, yes, Dirty Techno. Is there a system at the moment or going to be in place that will allow group missions and to promote team and gameplay? Yeah, so I'm hoping that we get a lot more of that for 3.1. If not, we will be getting it with 3.2. There's going to be player missions and player contracts that you can literally make yourself. That's the plan. Yeah, they need to be able to share money and credits for missions, which I'm assuming is coming in 3.1, but if not, it'll be in 3.2. And there'll be a lot more of that gameplay. Yeah, I think the Reclaimer could very well be ready for 3.1. The Pioneer will be able to build anywhere it can land stably. So even... that's got a reasonable amount of room. So yes, you can build on a mountain or hill slopes as long as the hill slopes aren't too much of an angle. The back part of the Constellation Taurus has got a reasonable amount for cargo. I mean, it's basically the cargo hauling variant for the Constellations. Nope. No smashing of cities. Those cities, they're not going to be destructible. There may be big story events that make them destructible. There may be big player events and stuff that the devs then patch it so that pieces have been destroyed. But almost certainly not destructible themselves.
Thanks for all your hard work.
Thank you very much, Midreal. Midreal, thank you so much for the donation. I fucking love your face. You're a legend. Senpai loves you. I can't do the anime voice. Is the Crucible just for repairing fighters, or will it be able to repair ships that can't fit in the enclosed bay? Yeah, so it's going to be able to repair capital ships as well. It's got repair arms. The original brief of it was that it created lattices around ships and repaired them, and other Crucibles could use it, and like use these lattices, and other people with hand welders and stuff could all do stuff. But it will be able to repair larger ships with its repair arms. Good man with your Brits and contigates. Has there been any word on when we can go getting back the ships that got removed from Fleet Manager? I loaded the Nox into the Connie, and now the Nox was permanently constant loadout. Oh, no, that needs to be fixed, doesn't it? Some people were telling me about talking to me about that. There's obviously problems with persistence. There's obviously problems with it storing ship data. Hotfix soon. That sort of stuff needs to be addressed before 3.1. Have they said anything about personal mining, like something you can store in your cutlass, go to a planet and mine, and take it back with you? Well, we saw like crystals and stuff on the Gamescom 2016 demo. And yeah, you'll be able to hand mine them, and you'll be able to grab stuff back. Part of the science mechanics will be like grabbing plants and crystals and things from planets and bringing them back. So yeah, you'll be able to do that with hand tools. Not too much in the way they've talked about it yet. The Cutlass Black has 4 hooks on the bottom. Do you think we'll be able to lift things with cables? Potentially, yeah. So there's got to be ways of taking some of the like tanks and ground vehicles down there, isn't there? Oh, Citizen Sandman. Look at you. You're too generous. Twitch can't believe you're too generous, so it blocks you. We'll be able to build ships ourselves. I don't 100% know. Like, we're to buy them and effectively have them commissioned. Actually have them built ourselves. A lot of the crafting, construction and manufacture we don't know about yet. Maybe. The AI is planned to be working better in 3.1 and 3.2. And with 3.2 having a lot more sensible AI and hopefully AI on the ground. That's 3.2, isn't it? Not 3.3. It's 3.3 AI on the ground. Energy in 3.2. AI side, both FPS AI on both ground and missions, yeah. So better AI for 3.1 and then ground AI for 3.2 is the current plan. I will start from this weekend. I'm going to start doing Star Citizen gameplay. I don't have enough. I don't have that much time, to be honest, to do research and do videos, and run some community stuff and play the games on the stream. But I will start doing stuff like that now that we actually have more of a game to play. I got into Star Citizen when my mate Wes bought an interest, and I went, why the fuck did you spend $1,000 on a ship, you idiot? And I looked into the game and went, oh, that's pretty cool. Oh, I do. I started doing Diablo 3 videos and things, and I was like, I might switch over to Star Citizen. No one's actually really covering this game. I think it's going to be pretty cool. Yes, Starfarer will be able to refuel other ships in flight effectively. Yes, it's got a fuel scoop at the front. Nom nom nom. Its face is a fuel scoop, basically. And it's got a hose that it'll fill up other ships with. I assume it's done on the move. Yes, you can apply for a refund. Contact customer services. Have a word with them there. You can easily get a refund back if it's within 14 days, I think. If it's longer than that, then you'll have to give reasons and stuff. They're not obliged to give you a refund, but as long as you're polite and you say, look, it's for this reason, I need the money because I need it for food or whatever, or change my circumstances, they should be reasonable. So, do you think they will optimize the game now that they back? Yes. I think that we'll get hotfixes in the next couple of weeks that will fix a load of the current major issues with 3.0 and get a little bit more optimization there and stabilize. So I say a little bit more optimization. It's more that some people are having a more bugged experience with their 10 frames a second, whereas I'm getting 30 plus almost all the time. Endeavour, probably a 2019 ship. When will this game be playable? When it's playable now, I wouldn't give it to anyone that's not a massive fan of Star Citizen now to play. Beta, you'll be able to sit down and play. End of 2019, maybe. Otherwise, like mid-2020. I'm expecting a ship sale in March. And then, again, like Gamescom, and so like October, November, December. Yes, they'll be continuing to deliver hotfixes and small patches in between their quarterly release dates as well. So, potentially, there could be super rare looted alien weapons or unique weapons that you'll be able to find. They've talked about that before. They said that was the intention. Also, you'll be able to tweak and overclock weapons. Some will be more overclockable than others. And there'll be a little mini game to that, and you'll need the right equipment, like the Endeavour's overclocking spinny thing, whatever it's called, quantum acceleratory thing. No new news in the Redeemer, other than I believe it's going to go through a second phase concept. I will ask about some of these questions when I go on my next office tour. So stuff like this about the Redeemer. Some of the other questions, if people ask them regularly and stuff, I will get a more definitive answer from CIG this year. Did you check AR Aircar with an Oculus Rift? No, but feel free to message me separately, Morblid. I'll have a look. When is Star Citizen team back at work? They're back at work today. Well, some of them were back last week. I believe everyone else is back today, pretty much everyone else. And their normal operations for their studios have resumed. Is there any way a smaller ship to refuel itself? When they've got fuel intakes. I mean, the best way is to go to a cryastro, go to a space station, or get a ship to fuel you. Yeah, so the idea is to have Pirating and Outlaw just as much content as Lawful. And they give content to each other, is the idea. Citizen Shenanigans, I don't think I don't. If you already supported and stuff, I don't think we need to further support the development unless you really have the spare money to just go. I fucking love this idea. Fucking have some fucking more money. It's always good to do that, I suppose, if you want to, but I don't see the need to. A lot of us have given lots of money. I'll buy stuff when I like the look of it. I'll be like, okay, yeah, I'll buy that tank. I think it's cool. So I never feel the need to give stuff any more money. Especially if you've already backed in and bought stuff. That said, money's different for different people, isn't it? If you've got loads of spare income, then fuck it, why not? Give to your hobby. We all know the Crytek is specialised in plotting jump points, but will it also be able to scan systems for inhabitants and ships and their cargo? Yeah, as much as it's going to be partly depending on what scanners you've put on it as well. We don't know exactly how the scanning mechanic's going to work. It was missing from the Squadron 42 vertical slice. But yeah, you should be able to scan down things with different types of scanner, and the Crytek scanners are probably pretty good at most things when it comes to exploration. So yeah, I suspect there will be a Valentine's Day sale for a limited amount of ships. Character customization, I was expecting it in 3.0. 3.1 is probably when we'll see the early, just be able to change your face and mess around with some bits. Obviously, persistence wasn't working properly, so if we had it in now, every time we logged in, we might have to change our faces, which would be interesting. I'm hoping we get the female model in 3.1 and 3.2 as well. Also, no talk about pirate mechanics. What do you mean? They're fleshing out pirate mechanics with every patch now. Yeah, I want Vulcan integration as well. I am expecting that we'll get it this year, though. I don't know how many miles type characters are intended for each system. I expect we'll see, like, for a system, it's going to be different for each system. Some might not have, some might have 0, some might have 12. For a system like Stanton, I'd expect to see maybe 2, like, special characters like him, potentially, on every major planet. And then lots of minor ones. I don't actually know. I need to think more about that as well. My tentative, not thought about much answer is, though, 2 for every, like, major planet and stuff. That kind of railroady theme park ride game. Well, actually, game mechanics in terms of gameplay, moving around in game, is not what I class as gameplay. Is that a question? You can do boarding piracy now, but there's no point. You can't steal the cargo and sell it. You can't steal the ship and keep it. Yeah, I'm hoping that we get the female model in 3.1, but more likely 3.2. What do you think about Squadron 42 not starting development until 2016? Huh? As was recently stated in CIG and legal filing, but it's scheduled for release. What? What are you talking about? I mean, I literally saw it in development before then. Will the Titan get out of bed? Would be nice to see bed and all ships. I read all those bloody legal documents as well. I've got them all here on my computer. The amended contract, and when they bought out the lumberyard, and when they switched over to lumberyard, was in 2016. I mean, the Morrow tool was shown in 2015. Will we be able to flatten terrain for base building or any sort of terraforming the landscapes at all? No. You'll be able to build on slightly skewy, whiffy, not entirely flat terrain, but terraforming probably won't be a thing at all. It might be story events and things. Or potentially you could maybe terraform small areas and build domes and stuff for farms, but not terraforming on like a planetary scale. I don't think so anyway. Well, they did talk about moisture farming. Maybe some sort of like, not terraforming, but small area kind of domey build things. Maybe terraforming. But you're not going to be able to deform the terrain. They talked about being able to change soil types. So you could potentially change soil in an area so that you could farm that different farming things. Yeah, you can steal the boxes, but you can't sell them. Oh, I don't know how much the box will cost. Probably between $70 and $100. No, I don't think the ship prices at the moment are comparable to how long it will take to earn it. We will decide as a community, all of us, the players as Star Citizen, how long it should take to earn the different ships when they put them in. We will balance that massively, and we'll work out what that should be for progression. But it won't be directly related to the prices of the ships. Hello, it's going good. I'm really tired. I'm going to jump off in a second, grab a tea and lie down, and then I'm going to play mindless games with my mate Zen. So, CIG is lying then. I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. Probably. I don't know. What do you want from me? Unless you literally copy and paste a paragraph of something you are talking about or reference it, I don't know what you mean. Do you think that Star Citizen will sell subscriptions like Eve after release? I think it will have the voluntary subscription system. I think that if they weren't making enough money from selling Alpha UBC and selling... I think they'll basically have like a Plex-esque model eventually, and they'll be selling game packages and stuff still. I don't think it will have forced subscriptions ever, although they would look at that option if they had to, I'm sure. You mean potentially have female avatars and custom features and customization in 3.1? I'm not sure if we'll have female avatars. I think we'll have the first iteration of facey, clicky, clicky. Yeah. Star Citizen and Squadron 42, none of them are actual games because they're not being sold as actual games and they're not playable or released yet. Totally agree with you. How many months in between to create each chapter of Squadron 42 do you think CIG will be able to accomplish? I don't know what you mean by that, Bang Chow. Sorry, I'm quite tired, so my brain has a bit of trouble, extra trouble of reading. How many months in between to create each chapter of Squadron 42? I don't know. Would the base building ships change the shape of terrain simply by being deployed? No. No. It shouldn't change the terrain. You might be able to plop outposts on not entirely flat terrain. And there's going to be like, they're going to have the little IKE legs which will come down. And it might, it potentially could cull out some of the terrain, but the removal of that outpost would probably regenerate that terrain. Well, decull it. I haven't been able to. I was able to sell small boxes in the PU. Tried to sell small boxes again recently. Maybe some ships it doesn't detect them. Sometimes it doesn't detect them. Have you experienced a problem jumping into Grimhex? It crashes your ship into an asteroid upon arrival. Actually, when I first played 3.0 on the first day of the live build, I got stuck. I got nearer to something and I got like stuck in an asteroid, oddly, when I was trying to land. Yeah, progression needs to be lengthy and reasonable and iterated upon. We need to do that. Is the Starfarer still planned to have swappable cargo pods in the place of fuel storage tanks? Yes, for dry cargo. I can't remember. I assume so. I don't know. So the different modules and that sort of thing. So modules of the Retaliator modules and extra bits for a load of the different ships. Don't know when they're coming in. I want to see more and more modularity and actually the ability to change those ships around. Like the Retaliator is one of the reasons I bought a lot of the ships I bought. I saw that they were selling loads of modules of Retaliator, and I went, oh, the idea of modularity for these ships is amazing. You can do so many different things to them, and that's what excited me and kind of poked my imagination. So I'm really tired. Sorry, I'm drifting off. Having a hard time reading. I'm going to jump off in a second. In 3.2, do you think the major industrial ships will be in Reclaimer, Orion, Starfarer? And the Starfarer's in. Yeah, I think the Reclaimer will be there. Not sure about the Orion, but I think we'll see the 890 jump this year. I think we'll see the Carrack this year. Yeah, we could potentially see the Orion this year. They had good progress on it. Hull C. Thank you for all the kind words. Appreciated. I do love you guys very much. I'm sorry that I'm a bit I'm shattered, but that's why I didn't do a video today. I'll do the Saturn system and what we're expecting from its gameplay and using some of the lore to help flesh that out tomorrow. Vulture between $70 and $100 probably. Do you think the Super Hornet will go back on sale? Yes! And dedicated dogfighters, yeah, things like the Hornet, Super Hornet. Sorry, the Super Hornet, the Sabre. Buccaneer will be competitive, but in a slightly different way. Oh, Jay Lee, I love your face.
Tricksy little hobbitses.
Oh, Jay Lee, you're subbed as well. I love you. I was gonna jump offline in a second. I'm gonna jump offline still, but I love you so much. Jay Lee is my favourite person. He's like the mother I never had. We need to play some games again at some point, Jay Lee, as well. I do love your face. But you missed me answering questions in a very sleepy way. Oh, I'm sorry. No, thank you for all the donations, and thank you for all the loves, and thank you for all the subs. If anyone's got anything in particular they want me to cover, or any questions they'd like me to ask CIG devs, because I will be going on some office tours this year is the plan. I will be in positions where I'll be at events where hopefully I'll be seeing Chris and Aaron and Brian Chambers, like at BritainCon and stuff. So if you've got questions you want to ask them, come into my Discord, chuck them in. I will create a new channel for questions to ask the devs and that sort of stuff, and content suggestions. I'll do that in a second, but I do love you guys, you're the best. Right, love your face, love you, Jay Lee. I'm sorry, I'm going, Jay Lee. Thanks for being you. Oh, okay, well, I can't literally be anyone else. Let's go host someone, actually. That's probably a good idea, isn't it? Who is strumming? I'm gonna go and host Moist Noodle.
In chat.
This dude is
Make sure you get entered.
a lovely man. He supports so many other streamers and Star Citizeners. He's a lovely man. He has beautiful hair. He's a massive fanboy of mine as well, which doesn't influence me at all, obviously. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll be streaming a lot this week, probably.
I think we're still but, though, I can't pull out my gun.
After today, it won't be affecting my videos too much. I'll actually just I'll get an early night. Don't you worry. Love you. Thank you, guys. Oh, raid. How do raid? I'll have a look at a couple of questions before I go as well. Take like a minute before the raid works. Slash raid. Raid. It's me. Raid. Okay, there we fucking go. Monkeyception. Monkey. What is his own? What am I doing? Oh. No real NPC ally information yet, or NPCs that we'll be able to mess around with, but I'll find out soon. Love you. Love you all. The best. Talk to you soon. Bye.